be talking about 7 ways to simplify your life, have more peace, and less rush. So let's talk about it. Hey friends, what's up, and welcome to another video. If you're new here, hello. My name is Abigail May. I make videos on motherhood, lifestyle, and Christian content. So I am a mom. I've been a mom for the last year and a half, and I'm about to have my second child come February. And there have been a lot of learning curves, I don't know, in motherhood. Things that I've had to change, mindsets that I've had to change, and honestly perspectives too that have had to change. And I think that comes with a lot of life, not just, being a mom and having kids, but when it comes to simplifying your life, especially as a mom, you are always looking for ways to make life easier, life fulfilling, and just have the best rhythms and routines that you can as a mom. And these are 7 things that have helped me to have those rhythms, to have that peace, and to feel less rushed. I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to feel I'm a rushed, anxious person. If I am rushed into decisions or in having to get ready in the morning, it makes me more anxious, and in return, it makes me more irritable too. And we just don't want that. The first thing that you can do to simplify your life, have more peace and less rush, is spend time with Jesus. I am a Bible-believing Christian, and I believe that in order to cultivate our relationship with Christ, to commune with Christ, we must spend time with Him, just like anyone else. In order to cultivate a relationship with your husband, or your kids, or your friends, you must spend time with them. And as a mom, I prefer to wake up early in the morning and spend time with God. I wake up around 5:30 in the morning before my son gets up, so I can have at least 30 minutes of quiet time, moments where I can sip my coffee, read my Bible, journal, pray, and go through my devotional. And one thing that I've been doing recently that I absolutely love is Lectio Divina, or Lectio 365, which is an app that you can download. I'll link it down below, completely free. And it is the app that I've been using the most the last few weeks. And every single day it gives you a different kind of like prayer Bible meditation. It's about 10 to 12 minutes long, and there's prayer, there's Bible reading, there is a meditation or like a pause part of it, and there also is occasionally a mention of another saint or martyrs, those who have gone before us in the faith, and ultimately it's just really relaxing and really calming. It's one of my favorite things to just listen to when I first wake up, because of how calming and relaxing it is. This next one is something I actually read in a book. I love John Mark Comer. I love his books. I've read almost all of them. And in the book, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, he talks about obviously eliminating hurry and this rush to get things done. But there's a part in the book that really stood out to me about, physically slowing down our bodies, slowing down our movements, and not just like trying to rush to get things done. So as a mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a homemaker, I'm home all the time, but sometimes I am in a rush to get the laundry done, or to get dinner done, or to clean, or whatever it is, and just physically slowing down my motions and my movements, because I believe personally, and I have seen just through my own experiences, that when an adult feels like they're in a rush and they're rushing to get to the next thing or do the next thing, it can actually make a child feel anxious. Our attitudes affect our kids more than we know, and so if we're constantly in this, oh my gosh, I gotta get this done, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, whatever it is, and we are very quickly moving from one thing to the next, it actually makes our kids more anxious. So slowing down our pace, physically walking slow. If things are too overstimulating, turning things off, turning things down, paying attention to the most important task, which is your kids or your husband or whatever it is, and just physically slow. The next one is having a toy rotation. Now, I just started doing this maybe 2 months ago or so, and it has saved me. We get a lot of toys from grandparents and parents and things like that, and we love toys, we do, but we live in a small space. Our husband and I, we rent a 2-bedroom apartment, and so we can't have a whole lot of stuff in this place, and we don't have many other places where we can store these things. And graciously, my in-laws have allowed us to store a lot of stuff at their house, and I'm so grateful for that. But just because we can do that doesn't mean we should. And so being on a toy rotation has not only helped to keep the mess and the toys to a minimum, but it has also helped to keep my son's interest peaked. I've been doing a little toy rotation where I'll put a few books out and we'll have those for a few weeks, and I'll also have a few toys out and we'll have those for a few weeks, and then I'll switch. Obviously, if you have more storage and more toys, this will look different. In this stage of life, we don't. Honestly, I find my son more fascinated with the most random things than actual toys. But I did not know how quickly this could help simplify my life, simplify his life. He doesn't have multiple things to choose from, which can often be a really big challenge. And at the same time, at the end of the day, when I'm cleaning up, I am not constantly finding little pieces everywhere, everywhere. So it's just ultimately better for us as a family, and I guarantee it will be better for you and your family as well. This one you have heard time and time again from every other mom in the country, probably, and that is to meal plan. I want to preface first and say that this is This is the data from our family. Our family, we're a family of 3, almost 4. We live on 1 income, which is my husband's, and even on that, we are low income. We rent an apartment, and we never really eat out. So I am constantly making meals and planning different things and all of that stuff. That being said, meal planning will simplify your life. If you sit down for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, every 2 weeks, or however it looks, plan out the meals for the next 2 weeks. And then once you've done that, you just write out every item that you need for the grocery list on the list. And this is something I do all the time. I have a list of recipes that I circulate through, and that's something else I suggest is have a list of things that you can circulate through. I have different crockpot recipes, some of our favorites. A very much reoccurring meal in our household is Chipotle bowls because they're so easy to throw together. But having a meal plan is the most simple way you can plan dinner, because the night before, you can pull out your planner, which is what I do, or the day of, pull out my planner and be like, okay, what's for dinner tonight? Do I need to pull out chicken? Do I need to pull out ground beef? Do I need to prep anything? And then you are ahead of the game the next day. All right, this one is going to take a little bit of surrendering your own will. I had to surrender myself, but that is stop holding on to clothes that you either don't wear, you haven't worn in a really long time, or you're in the mindset of, someday I will fit into this. Someday. I kept a lot of my pre-baby clothes from before I had my son, and I honestly thought that I would be able to fit back into them, and some of them I was able to, which is really awesome. Some of my staple pieces, like t-shirts and things like that, but when it came to jeans, bathing suits, what else? Bras and underwear, Like some of those things, and even some of my dresses, like I no longer fit into because my hips grew, my everywhere grew, and I just had to be realistic with myself and be like, you know what, like I will probably not get down to my pre-baby size for a long time, and that is okay. If I'm being honest with you guys, I will probably be in the pregnant postpartum stage for a while, a very long time. And just finding clothes and wearing clothes that can mold with each season that you are in. First things first, I know this is very trad wife, trad mom, whatever. Dresses, flowy dresses, they are so practical in the sense that if you get pregnant, they'll still fit you. If you are postpartum, they'll still fit you. If you're losing weight, it'll still fit you because it's a flowy dress. And that is something I love. I wish there were more flowy dresses though that were more on the casual side and not like the super fancy side. But I have found that those are ultimately like really good things because they fit you in a lot of the seasons. Jeans, it's one of those things where it's like you're constantly, at least for me, I was constantly between a bunch of different sizes, and I just couldn't narrow it down. And then I got pregnant again, and I'm like, well, now I really don't know what I am. So just stop keeping clothes that no longer fit you or that don't fit the lifestyle that you live. I am a toddler mom, will have a newborn really soon, and postpartum, pregnant. I'm at home all the time. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm going to the park, I'm going on walks, all of that stuff. Like, that is the lifestyle that I live, and so I wear clothes accordingly. I don't wear clothes that I feel uncomfortable in. Low-cut tops I don't feel comfortable in. I'm not a huge fan of like super tight dresses anymore. And so like things change, and like I said, you have to wear the clothes that fit you for the lifestyle that you live. This next one is actually really difficult for me. I am Gen Z. I grew up in the era where YouTube became really popular, Instagram, Facebook, all of the things, and I am used to there being constant noise everywhere. I'm used to, constantly having a YouTube video playing or music or a podcast. And I have learned that sometimes in order to have more peace and to simplify my life, I need to take the extra noise away. And that is okay. It's okay to be an outsider in a world trying to be an insider. One big example of this is I got rid of Instagram, TikTok. I don't have Snapchat. Like, the only social media I have is YouTube and Pinterest. And this was the biggest noise for me in terms of like what I filled my time with. Another side of this too is if you are playing with your kids and you are constantly having like podcasts in the background or music or whatever it is, just allow there to be some silence, allow there to be some time where you are just quiet and all you're hearing are your kids playing or dinner being made or whatever it is. I'll give a very practical, very relatable example. Is this morning I was listening to a podcast. This podcaster, she just came out with her 3rd season, and I was so excited to listen to it, so I wanted to listen to it that morning, so I had it playing on the TV, and like my son was not having it. It was just too overstimulating, all of the noise, everything, and so I had to shut off the podcast and just play some calming music in the background. And that actually helped. Sometimes the calming music does help in situations like my son. He immediately is so much more calm when there's music in the background, whether that's hymns or instrumental, or he has his own playlist that I have. I love it. But simply just turning off the extra noise is a great way to simplify your life and find peace. And the very last one is saying no to activities and to the extra things. I want to preface this though, because I'm someone, I love being at home. I'm a homebody. I am okay with not going out and seeing friends. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. You shouldn't say no to an event or no to an activity just because you simply just don't want to. So I think there's a difference between saying no to activities because you have too much on your plate right now or it's too overwhelming right now, versus saying no to activities because you just simply don't want to put in the effort, or you simply don't want to, or you don't see an importance. I do believe that it is important we live in community. It is important that we commune in community. You can live in community but not commune with other people, and that's not gonna cut it. And I'll tell you a story. When I was like freshly postpartum, I didn't want to go to my small group. Every 2 weeks, and every time it was time to go to small group, I would be like, Gendry, I don't want to go. I just want to stay home and relax and like sit on the couch or whatever. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be with other people, but it was because I just didn't want to put in the effort that it took to go to get there. But I found that every single time I ended up going, I loved it. I found it refreshing and restful, and now I absolutely love going, and I wish that small group was every single week because it is so life-giving to be with other girls and to talk about, the things that God is doing in our hearts and on our minds. So there's a difference between saying no to things because it's overwhelming and you have too much on your plate, or saying no to things because you just don't want to, or you don't want to put in the effort that it takes to do X, Y, and Z. And this is a constant conviction and battle that I have, because we are all selfish creatures. We all want to do things our way or the highway, and that's just not it. So saying no to activities when you are overwhelmed, maybe you are freshly postpartum and you're constantly having people over, and that's just too overwhelming for you. Saying no, that is okay. Or maybe you're in a really busy season and someone at church or a friend has asked you, hey, like, can you do this thing for me this week? And you're like, I'm sorry, I really cannot. I just don't have the time, don't have the effort or the energy or whatever it is. And it's okay to say no to activities. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to do everything, nor should you feel guilty if you can't. And so I think that's really important to know as moms that it is okay to say no. You don't have to have your kids in 1,000 different sports every year or every season be in a different sport. You don't have to be signing up for all of the church potlucks for what to bring, or the whatever else. Like, you don't have to do that when you're in seasons of overwhelm, of stress, of whatever it is. But also make sure that you are communicating to people too that you are in a season of overwhelm or of stress. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that this helps and encourages you to simplify your life, to have more peace and less rush. And if you did love this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching.